Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the voice of someone who has just watched Thor Love and Thunder, and I really liked it. So let's get into the review. First thing first. Soundtrack was fantastic. The start, they were playing Welcome to the Jungle. There was Sweet Child of Mine, and the whole soundtrack was amazing. I loved all the rock music. It was fantastic. On top of that, there was amazing cinematography. There was parts where they go into the shadow area where there's no color, and you can only see the color of like the lightning, and that was really cool to see. And then there's parts where Gorr comes into New Asgard, and you can just see his pale white body clashing against all the colors, along with his colorless black sword clashing against all the colors. He just sticks out like a sore thumb, just like the lightning in the shadow realm. It's really cool. Great symbolism, fantastic. Beyond that, the part where they go to Omnipotent City, beautiful. So many great visuals. The part with the space dolphins is just fantastic. In the same sort of vein, the fights were great. The fight in the shadow area where they're on that planet, that show was so good. That was such an amazing fight. Gorr versus Thor every time was just amazing. I loved their fights. It truly seemed like they were two people holding one-shot kill weapons. That's what it felt like. It felt like a real high-stakes battle. And the way Gorr was able to act in them, creepy as hell, made the fights even better. Speaking of which, Christian Bale as Gorr was absolutely the best part of the movie. Bale was able to bring out Gorr's philosophy perfectly. He was creepy, deep, strong, and thoughtful. But it didn't really seem like they knew that was the case. They kind of wasted time on a lot of random, stupid fucking plot points that I'll get into later in the spoiler half of this video. But it seemed like they didn't understand that he would be so great. Mighty Thor was great. She is someone who did get the screen time. And Jane, in fact, just her as Jane and her as Mighty Thor. Both fantastic. She seemed like an actual novice superhero who was really excited about being a superhero, like how any human being who gets the powers of Thor would be. It was fantastic. I really liked her. She was easily top 3 characters in the movie, obviously, behind Gorr and Thor, who was also great. I'm talking about Thor now. Thor was great. It seems like they fleshed out his character more. They stopped treating his depression as much of a joke as they were before. I think they still kind of became a joke, but just a bit less than usual. He seemed to be actually doing deep mental dives, and his character progression from the start of the movie to the end was fantastic. The first little bit of the movie was also amazing. I really enjoyed it. Shows Gorr's backstory, which was so well done. Shows what Thor's been up to, which was also so well done. It was a super cool-ass action scene. And then it shows what Jane was up to, which was also really well done. Quite sad. However, this movie is not all good. There were some parts that I didn't like so much. The first of which is that it felt like there was no stakes. This is kind of the main overarching problem. I was never scared that Thor was gonna lose or that anyone was gonna die. The first thing that contributed to the problem was the fact that Thor could be wherever he needed in the universe at any time. I don't know if it's revealed before this movie, but skip ahead 10 seconds just in case it's not. Skip ahead right now. Thor has access to the Bifrost, so he can teleport wherever he wants at any point. I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad. Like, that makes sense, right? It's a cool power. I don't mind him having that. But he gets that because of Stormbreaker. And there is a period in the movie where he doesn't have access to Stormbreaker, but it doesn't matter. Because he can still go wherever he wants, whenever he wants. And it's just kind of like, well, what was the point of being like, oh, Gorr's he's escaped. Oh no, because you can just hunt him down right away. It never felt like they needed to rush at all. They had as much time as they needed, and that was stupid. And then there's also a part where Mighty Thor travels to somewhere she shouldn't be able to travel to really fucking fast, and it's just like, how have you done this, and what was the point of your journey to that place beforehand if you could get there that fast on your own? Just a bit silly, really. So that's the first thing. There's no stakes in terms of how far Gorr is from them. The second thing that ruins the stakes is the fact that they are shoving comedy down your throat. It's just too much. I liked the comedy in Thor Ragnarok. Didn't like the comedy in this movie nearly as much. There were some things that I found funny. Some good old physical comedy where Thor launches himself into a building or something. Those are all great, but it gets to a point where it's like, okay, this is supposed to be serious. Stop telling jokes. There's literally a part where he goes, he's behind me, isn't he? Or they're behind me, aren't they? And I was just like, come on. Either they're feeding into the meme, but not making it obvious, which doesn't really work out very well, or they're just so ignorant of the issues with their relentless comedy. The final thing that takes away from the stakes is Gorr's lack of build-up. He doesn't seem like a threat, really, in the movie. That's all I'll say for now. He seems like he should be much stronger. And not only that, but he should have much more build-up. I should be more scared of him than I am. Like, my fear should go beyond the fact that Christian Bale is acting really well. Anyways, that's all for the non-spoiler review. My rating for this movie will be a strong 72%. Could have gone up to 80 if it weren't for the ending, which I didn't mention at all, but the ending was really bad in my opinion. Could have gone up to like even in the 90s if they had more gore, which they didn't, and if they had less comedy, maybe even up to a 95. I don't know. But yeah, now into the spoilers. The first thing I want to talk about in the spoilers is back to Gore. He was the best part of the movie, as I said before. Bale did him perfectly. But it seemed like they didn't know that that was the case. They didn't know that he would be the best part of the movie and not their shitty comedy. As I said, he should have had way more screen time to flesh him out and make him seem like more of a threat. My biggest gripe is that they only showed him killing one god, and it was just some random fucking geezer in a forest eating fruit. So the title of God Butcher didn't really seem like he earned it, and it didn't hold the weight that it should have. And so when he appears in New Asgard, my reaction is less of a, oh shit, the super strong god-killing lunatic is here, and more of a, hey, he's back again. And it isn't until you see Bale's acting that this presence feels like a problem. This becomes even more of an issue when we are led to believe that Thor kills a god, and then he's got the same amount of on-screen god kills as the God Butcher, so it just takes away even more of the weight of the title, especially considering that the god Thor kills is Zeus, and he does it in the coolest way possible, so it's just like, what the fuck? The worst part about this is the fact that solving it would have been so easy. Literally either just add scenes of Gore fighting the gods to the movie since it's already not that long, or remove one or two of the 12 billion jokes that were being told. Like watching Gore fight Falagar would not only have been cool as fuck, and made Gore seem more intimidating as he's killing this huge behemoth champion god of the Tournament of Immortals, but it would also show just how deranged Gore has become, killing what Thor describes as the friendliest god you'll ever meet in cold blood. He also should have been stronger. He has the all-black necro sword. He should be way stronger. He should make Thor feel like he is actually in danger. And he did, but in the fights, it never seemed like Thor was like, oh fuck, I could die here. I wanted it to be such a huge threat that Thor's like, oh no. And then he gets access to like the Odin Force or something and powers up massively. And I know you might be thinking, oh, but then how would they do future movies with this super strong guy here? And they don't have to. He could just sit and wait for someone to ask him for help like he was doing at the start of the movie. It would have been such a good come around. And he would be happy this time, though. It would have worked so well. But they just said, fuck it. Let's make Gore seem like he's fucking kind of a pussy. And then, as I mentioned before, I didn't like the ending. That's neither here nor there. That ending was atrocious. If you've watched the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Gore gets talk no jutsu'd. And then he's like, bring my daughter back, but I'm still dying. So, Thor, you are now the dad of my daughter, even though I wanted to kill you just a little bit ago, and you essentially have killed me. And the daughter doesn't even care. She doesn't give a fuck that her dad's dead, apparently. She's like, I don't like pancakes. Like, fuck you. This guy killed your dad. You do realize that, right? It was just stupid. It was dumb. They should have just either killed him or something. Just don't let him get to the wish. There's no need for that. Anyways, that's it for this. Probably should have not given Korg as many lines as he had, because it really wasn't that funny. But hey, it is what it is. I enjoyed the movie overall. Some things stuck out to me as horrendous that would make me not want to watch it all the way through again. I would love if there was more Gore. I really, really wish there was more Gore. I love him so much in the comics. Anyways, that'll be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces.
The Black Marty McFly resurrecting the real shit, so I'm sorry if I offend plenty of the fakes. See, I'm one of a kind, the hell of a guy came through with loss to defy. They call me Philip J. Fly captain yesterday, checkmate. Your second place suckers a second rate. Never been a plug, but got the weight. Crack music, got the finest shit coming from out the States. But wait, now hold the phone, man. We could take a minute to pretend that me and Days OC doing niggas in. We got you, your girl moving, and all her friends. Ain't worried about them threes, but them nines and tens. I can't wait to get bougie. My service is gonna be costly. The pick of the little niggas so haters can get off me. You think you ahead? I'ma be there shortly. Of course, we in the game like Charles Wade Barkley.